In the 18th century, thousands of settlers bypassed the eastern mountains, pushing into the fertile expanse of Trans-Appalachia and the Ohio River Valley. These migrants generated a massive paper record, millions of pages of census data, land patents, and personal diaries documenting their existence across this vast terrain. But time is hostile to paper. Iron-based inks eat through the pages. Cheap, acidic newsprint turns to brittle dust, and rusting metal fasteners literally tear these documents apart inside their boxes. This is a copy of the Virginia Declaration of Rights. Even if the physical paper survives, the information is effectively locked away because modern optical character recognition systems struggle to read the idiosyncratic loops of colonial handwriting. Physical preservation in a vault is only effective if the text can be accessed. If a record cannot be read, indexed, or searched, it effectively ceases to function as information. To stop the decay, archivists perform physical triage. They carefully strip out rusting paper clips and photocopy highly acidic newspaper clippings onto acid-free buffer paper to halt the spread of rot. But they do not simply dump the surviving papers into a new alphabetical filing system. They adhere to a strict principle called original order. The sequence of the records established by the creator is historical evidence in itself. How a pioneer family or an early merchant grouped their letters reveals daily realities and priorities. Scrambling that order destroys the historical context. Archivists build a map around existing logic, organizing materials into a strict hierarchy: collection, series, then folders. Processing stops at the folder level, generating a finding aid, a detailed summary of the collection's scope and contents to guide researchers. The physical paper is now stable, and the internal logic of the boxes is mapped. Yet, to make this collection visible to researchers across the globe, it needs to speak the language of modern search engines. This vital transition requires a complex translation layer, where archivists shift from being physical preservationists into digital information engineers. The typed finding aids must be converted into machine-readable tags to bridge the gap between a cardboard box sitting on a shelf and a search query typed into a browser. This is a raw look at EAD and Mark 21 standards. Archivists use these strict encoding rules to wrap their human-readable scope notes and structural hierarchies in computer-readable tags. Local repository elements are deliberately mapped to universal standards. A local summary tag is routed into a global field, like a Dublin Core description, so that platforms like WorldCat recognize it immediately as an abstract. But engineering this metadata hits a massive roadblock. History changes. Over centuries, borders move, rivers are renamed, and countries gain independence, which breaks modern search queries. To solve this, archivists use authority records. These are standardized files that permanently link a historical entity or location to its modern equivalent. If a collection features historical photographs of the British Honduras Volunteer Guard, the authority record explicitly connects the authorized heading British Honduras to the modern nation of Belize, ensuring researchers don't lose their geographic thread. Through this rigorous standard of tagging and linking, the raw, chaotic materials of the past are organized into a permanent, interconnected, and globally searchable matrix. What began as a decaying stack of acidic paper is now housed within perfectly ordered, climate-controlled aisles. Imagine a modern researcher trying to track the descendant families who settled around Denison Ferry along the Green River. They enter their keyword, and the search engine instantly bypasses millions of irrelevant records. It navigates directly through the authority files, reads the EAD tags, and pinpoints the exact finding aid describing that specific historical footprint. That single query pulls the data out of the digital matrix and anchors it firmly back onto the physical landscape. This 1923 topographic map of the Mammoth Cave region shows exactly how those early families distributed their land. The spatial data aligns with the historical record. Archivists function as information architects, building the digital frameworks that keep historical data within reach. They manage the invisible structures that turn millions of disconnected records into a searchable map of human activity.
Thanks for watching. Please join us again next time for more history from the mountains. Don't forget to like and subscribe,